Hello campers, it's ginger tea time. I'm just reflecting on the fact that this is the 5th Christmas since COVID. 5. And we're still here. Well, some of us are still here. Some of us have gone to the other side. But they're not forgotten. And as I come into this Christmas, on Christmas Eve, I'm thinking about the layers and layers and layers that we've had to peel back, like Shrek's onion. Donkey! I love my Scottish accent. Hit! Move! That's from So I Married an Axe Murderer, which is one of his lesser known films, but one of my favourites, especially the scenes in the Scottish family. But anyway, I'm digressing again, and I do that a lot. 5 years since COVID, and I am, it's kind of, it's just extraordinary. It's been an extraordinary journey. I know a lot of people will use that term, but it is a journey, and it is, it's been my great privilege and honour to share it with you, and thank you so much for all your support. Throughout these 5 years, I've changed a lot. I've gone through a lot myself. I think that's why it ended up being called Adventures in a Cosmic Suit, because I don't think my job was to wake people up, because there were other people doing that because they were waking up, but I'd already been awake for decades by the time COVID hit. I think my job was to be a bridge, and to be, I always get this image of the hand out over the bridge. And, you know, my message has always been the same. You know, I'm an idiot, the same as you. I've made mistakes, the same as you. But we must release guilt and shame. We must forgive ourselves. Throughout this journey, I've made more mistakes. And I'm learning all the time, as I hope and think that you are. And it is a privilege to be here on this crazy, in this crazy realm, whatever it is, this realm, this earth, this stunningly beautiful, bizarre prison that we're in. And I know some people are going to say, that's all your perception. Well, yeah, it is my perception of it. That's why I'm saying this. I can't say anybody else's perception, can I? But it is overall, it is extraordinary, difficult, emotional, traumatic, heartbreaking, heartwarming, inspirational, extraordinary. It is extraordinary. Life is extraordinary, and it is a gift for all of us to be here at this time, and more stuff is to come. But, you know, the spiritual lessons for me personally have the big ones, have involved barriers. I never had any barriers before COVID. I was always open. And I've always been like that throughout starting the podcast. I've always been, you know, there may be many things you could say about me that are not nice, but I know myself, and I know that I'm incredibly generous and incredibly open-hearted. And my motivation for making all the videos that I've done over the last 4.5 years has always been about trying to share information that I thought would be useful, or sharing things that I found out or that I knew that would be useful to you. And that's always been my motivation. And sometimes on that journey, I've met people whose intentions aren't good, or they're greedy, or they're interlopers, or they're agents. But the vast majority of people that I've interviewed have been amazing people that are also on this journey as well. They just happen to know more about certain things than the rest of us. And if you piece it all together, it's quite extraordinary what we've learned. You know, it's all been about letting go, first and foremost. We've had to let go of the world that we knew. We've had to let go of people that we looked up to. We've had to let go of many, many ideas. We've had to reprogram, or deprogram and then reprogram. And through that process, there have been multiple layers of limited hangouts to contend with. Cults, in the making within the freedom movement. And there's been also the difficulty of dealing with people at different levels of awakening and different levels of spiritual awareness. I'm trying to hold all of that together whilst also trying to live your life, bring up your children, hold your marriage together, go on dates, have new pets. I've got a new puppy. It's just, I keep using the same word, it's extraordinary. Because this is all part of God's plan. You are part of God. And realizing who we really are, remembering who we really are, is also a massive, well, ultimately, well, it's the ultimate. But it is 5 years since COVID started, and that is mind-blowing, actually, because I haven't had a minute to stop and think until literally 10 minutes ago this year. It's been an absolute roller coaster, and I'm extremely grateful for incredible people that I've met along the way. You know, I was extremely touched by everybody that came to the two shows that I held at the Manchester Monastery. I tried my best to hug everybody that came, and to the event I had in the castle here in the west of Ireland, I tried to shake everybody by the hand. I was overwhelmed by the whole thing, to be honest, because it wasn't like doing a show in the old days where it was just for money and fame. It was like, hang on, these are my people. This is my soul family. And the vast majority of people there were. But you know, you still get criticised for these things, even though you're doing your best. And that's, you know, been tough really, because I'm a very sensitive soul. But at the same time, it's been amazing, because overall, it's been absolutely mind-bogglingly brilliant. And I hope that I've helped you on the way. And then I got invited to tour America, and that was really hard. The first 4 or 5 days of that were really, really hard, but I got into the groove and I completed it. And I'm very proud of the fact that I completed it. And, but then again, you know, we were followed by UFOs. We were demonically attacked. We had spells cast upon us. We had witches in the audience. We had all sorts of stuff going on. I tried to capture it all in the film that Kieran made. But you can never capture all of it, really. So, you know, and then all these poems that I put out. I'm incredibly grateful for the feedback I've had on all my poetry. Well, pretty much all of it was channeled, and not from an entity, directly from source, which included swearing, which I was surprised about myself. But as I've said many, many times, if you can't swear and call these monsters out who are trying to commit genocide on your family and you and the entire human race, then well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, I'm terribly sorry. You're not a cunt at all. You're a very naughty boy. No, because although this is a hologram and a simulation and all those other things, all those other terms that people bandy around, it's also very real. You know, I know that is, you know, you can look at this in multiple ways, but we as human beings are experiencing this for real. And if it is a game, it's the best game ever made, because if it wasn't real, we wouldn't get anything out of it. And I think that's the point, really. We've got to continue to be optimistic about the outcome, and we've got to keep our heads up, and we've got to keep smiling, but we've got to have boundaries as well. We've got to tell people no. We've got to, if people try to screw us or rip us off or call us out unfairly, then just say no. Just tell them to fuck off. That's part of this journey. What else? I bought out a couple of books. The poetry book. Thank you to everybody that bought God Wins. It's mind-blowing that book is all over the world. Thousands and thousands of copies all over the world. Thank you so much to everybody that got that. I'm not sure I ever earned any money out of it, but I didn't do it for money. Like I said, it's either a piece of history or it's very expensive toilet paper. Hopefully, you haven't wiped your ass on it yet. We're not done yet. There's more to come. There's more poetry to come as well next year. Of course, I've been extremely busy in the last 18 months setting up Live 5D Health with Gary Keeley. And we've now got an incredible team of people there. And thank you to all of you guys that have helped out, especially Jennifer. get that thing off the ground, because what that's becoming is also extraordinary. Because I'm very much a fan of the concept, but Minster Fuller said is that you can't beat the system. You cannot. The system's huge. What you can do is build your version of the system, or your piece, that will hopefully inspire other people to do the same and make the world a better place by default. Most of you watching my channel, those of you that aren't out to just exploit the channel, are there because you're a point of light in this grid that we have formed across the planet. And I know it's not just people that watch my channel. I know that there's lots of other people doing amazing work out there, lots of which I've spoken to, some I've not yet met yet. But, you know, as a team, we've done an incredible job in assisting consciousness rising up and holding that together on whatever level that is. You know, I also brought out the book with Abby Wynn, which I'm very proud of, Weapons of Mass Protection. That's been amazing. And we just published our first book through 104 Publishing, the Eddie Hobbs book, which I think is another bridge, another piece, a medium. You know, books and videos are one thing, but we need books, we need songs, we need music, we need movies, we need as much as we can get out there collectively to push back the tide, like Canute, except we will succeed where Canute failed. And we've got 25, 6, 7 days until Trump's inauguration now. So, and we've got UFOs everywhere, which is also part of the Great Awakening, I think. And it's working. You know, people are starting to look up. They just told us in the new Superman trailer, look up. This is after they told us don't look up 3 years ago in that bloody awful film with all those paedophiles in, Leonardo DiCaprio amongst them. So holding all these thoughts together at the same time is a major, major skill in life that most of you watching this have managed to do so far. So congratulations, because it is quite amazing. I know I've used the word extraordinary, and I know I've used the word amazing a lot in this video. Excuse me, my grasp of language is not as good as it would be if I hadn't just driven for 6 hours in the car. And I'm preparing to make a feast for my children tomorrow, which is always a privilege, actually. It's always a privilege. And also on this journey, I've managed somehow to find the love of my life, which is also beyond belief. 7 years ago, I thought my life was over. And, you know, just not giving up is 90% of the battle. Because the true you is beyond. It's just beyond. And if you have faith, God will take care of you and God will look after you. All of this has been a test of faith. All of this has been about connecting to God. Source, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I am not religious in any way, and neither am I a New Ager, even though I've been accused of that in the past. But all these accusations and stuff are irrelevant. They're like water off a duck's back. Because throughout this journey, I have looked myself in the eye and I've said, are you doing the best that you possibly can? And the answer's always been yes. Even though I've fallen and failed sometimes and made mistakes, I've always got up the next day and tried to do the best that I can. And I know the vast majority of people watching this are exactly the same as that. And you're amazing, you're incredible, you're extraordinary. You are a fractal of God, never forget that. You're an eternal spirit. And this game is won. We are here to witness it. So whatever your beliefs about Christmas, I know it's Saturnalia really, but I'm choosing to make it about family and celebrating life. That's my choice, that's my decision. With all the knowledge of what it really is. Because we can transmute everything. You know, it's spiritual alchemy, which I know you're all really good at. So I hope you have a fabulous week, and again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year, even though it's probably not a new year. You know what I'm talking about. God bless you.